Hello, people and bots. Grandpa Canuck here, and we are in Hearts of Iron 4 Black Ice, ready for part 1 of the Hungary playthrough. Let's get started. Away we go. Now, have to determine how we're going to play this. One thing I've noticed about the tech tree is you cut off large segments of it very, very fast for the first few decisions. So knowing what you want to do and how you want to do it needs to come about sooner rather than later. Okay, realistic version. So we're sitting here with our few divisions. We're going to divide them into west, and east. We have a choice of 2 field marshals. Okay. Our Air Force consists of 24 light bombers and 62 light fighters. Woo-wee! And none of them have any training whatsoever. Okay. National focus. Well, the first question to get out of the way is ideological shift or revisionism. I think we're going to go revisionism, and we'll probably draw closer to Germany as well. So we're going to do that. Unless something changes my mind, that's the route we will go. We are definitely behind the 8 ball with a lot of things we can and cannot do. No anti-tank or anti-air. Combat engineers are out of the question, I think, for a while. No need for mobile headquarters yet. Let's work on putting in infantry guns, machine guns, and mortars. Let's start with infantry guns. Okay, well, we got some World War I techs we got to get through. Let's get started. And then 1 into anything. We're going to need the basics, so let's start off with the cars. How basic it is. Start off with a civilian factory just because. Of course, no Navy. Turn this off and leave it off. We have no air production. We have no tank production. We have this. And we sit here with slight shortages, but nothing really huge shortages. So where do we want to pull ahead with? I'm thinking 2 into here, 2 into here, 2 into there, 3 more into here, another one here, another 3 into here. We've got 8 more. Another one into light and heavy. Anything we're missing? We should have. Don't really need mountain troops yet. We have transport, we have heavy transport trucks. We've got no capability for tanks or air or naval. But we might as well start and get a few armored cars. It will not be efficient. We have 3 more. Anything else? Might as well get that early. And we'll work on very, very basic things, I think. Okay. Energy is not a problem. We have a whole 2. And I don't think we need any aluminum. Oh, we do. We need 3. And we have nothing in the synthetic, of course. Okay. So we're going to need iron ore. And we'll get that in from Germany. 3 should do it. Coal, we need 18. We'll get that in from Germany as well. 32 is the number. And that's not going to be enough iron. So we're going to need, nobody's selling iron yet. Okay, so we're kind of screwed there. And we need 3. And Belgium looks to be the only country who will sell to us. Oil, we're not going to need a lot. We'll try and get that from Romania. And we'll see how that goes for us. Okay, steel. Obviously, we want to get that from Germany as well. 23. We'll need 30. And that works. No, it doesn't. Germany will only give us 8. Huh. From Italy. At least another 10. We're going to have to go to the Soviet Union. My goodness. Change that as soon as we can. And the food seems to work. Okay, let her go. I don't think we're going to bother with Austria, since we're going to align with Germany. Let them have Austria. I'm debating on whether we should try and push and get something out of Czechoslovakia. Or maybe we should split Romania with the Russians early. That'll give us all of Transylvania. And maybe turn the Romanians off of the fascist line altogether so we can be the number 3. and work our way into being number 2, what we would like to do for Germany. Okay, not enough. Got 12 over there. And we don't need that 10, we have enough. Plus 7. Cool. Okay, that'll get us through the first couple of months. No manpower, of course. We will draw closer to Germany early on. Howdy! Welcome, first time chat. Let me know if you have any questions. This is using the Black Ice mod. And I'm going to be somewhat traditional with twists. So we have got the minerals. And this is, of course, I think where we should go next. And we have infantry guns now. So let's go for machine guns next. Oops! So you can't use mods, huh? Well, that's too bad. The vanilla game is still very, very good. It plays a good game even if you don't have any of the DLCs. Just the original vanilla is a good game. I like Black Ice. It adds levels of complexity. I'm a military historian, so I like things following along with a lot of history content. I don't have the last 2 DLCs. I don't have the South American one, and I don't have the Scandinavian one. I have all the others, I believe. Okay, so I need infantry guns, and we can cut back here. It's worth it. The South American doesn't change much. So I play Black Ice, and the South American one adds absolutely 0 to Black Ice. 0. They state that, and since I play most of my time with the Black Ice mod, which incorporates many, many mods into it, I have no need for that DLC. I will probably pick up the Scandinavian one at some point in time. I just haven't done it yet. And if I get in the mood for a really alternate history thing, I will load up the vanilla game and play without mods, but with all the DLCs. Oh, I don't think it adds any more complexity to the computer operation. It may add complexity to your own brain operation on what you gotta keep track of and remember, because it breaks the equipment down into much smaller units, and therefore you have more research possibilities and more production possibilities and more resource possibilities, and all that draws as you go up the line to grand strategy, more things that you need to be aware of. Okay, we have let's do that early on. Oh, I see. Yeah. It used to lag really bad for me a few years ago when I was doing 2-player or 3-player multiplayer. Under or overrated? I'm Canadian, and therefore I'm a little biased to the game does not have enough players that play secondary countries for the Allies, like Canada. I remember I had one player game where we took, somebody played Canada, somebody played South Africa, somebody played Australia, and somebody played India. This was vanilla, and this was years ago. And that was a fun time. So playing the minor allies, helping the bigger nations. That's why I'm doing Hungary here. Is I like doing that. I did a Canada playthrough a while back. Now I'm going to do one for the Axis side. Overpowered countries? Soviet Union. The AI, I think, runs the Soviet Union too well sometimes. Yeah, I agree with your overrated Soviet Union. Yeah, Romania can be played differently. I think Black Ice changes Romania a little bit. And Romania is an interesting one to play. Particularly in vanilla, because you have so many paths you can go. You know what? I've got more oil coming in than I need. It can. Romania has the unique thing of a lot more oil than it can use. And that creates interesting situations. Not a problem. I don't speak any German, so your English has not been a problem for me at all. And why did the game crash? I didn't see what happened there. I was reading your comment and the game crashed. Let's load that up and see what I did or didn't do. So are you a big city person or a small town, rural person? Your typed English is pretty clear. I have no issue understanding your statements. My Canadianism in my talking may throw you off if you're not used to Canadians. Just outside Munich. Okay. So suburb is a big city. My city is just under 50,000, and I'm really close to a city with 450,000, and I'm 2 hours away travel time. Don't know if you know Canada at all. Okay, this is the St. Lawrence lowlands. A lot of farming and industry, our most populated area. I'm smack in the middle above this Great Lake here. I'm in this region here. So it takes me about 2 hours to get to Toronto, 2 hours to get to Detroit or Buffalo, 3 very, very large cities within 2 hours. Yeah, Toronto's up here, 2 hours away. I'm down here in southern Ontario. My city originally supported the agricultural industry and then became a railway hub in the 1870s until the 1950s, and then it turned into manufacturing. So we have a new battery plant coming from Germany, building here, which is going to be thousands of jobs. And we have land use about industry taking over more agricultural land. Okay, let's see where this game messed up. So let's save it every couple of days until we find out. This is really the first save. Uh, 200 hours is new, but you're not a total know-nothing at 200 hours. You have a lot of the basics down, and a lot of it also depends on how much history, how much World War II and pre-World War II knowledge you have to understand how the politics and the industry and the supply and stuff goes in the game. So that actually accounts for a chunk of knowledge as far as learning the game. Okay, so we have our drawing closer to Germany. We don't need to go there yet. I like this Hungarist ideas. I don't want to go here yet. It's 140 days to get there, too. You know how to play German decently. Well, it's your own country. Of course, you're gonna do a lot for your own country and play it. The whole game is centered around, because Germany initiated, well, the European part of World War II. The game is based around a lot of German decisions in this game. And because of what you can do with Germany in the game, you do learn a lot about the other countries by playing Germany. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a player for achievements. I like believable alternate history. Germany and the Nazi Party in World War II were not really good at sticking to one type of production. They jumped all over the place with airplanes and tanks. And, what happens if you could bring a better economy out of Germany in this game? What happens if you can do some political twists? I've tried doing a late start. What happens if you hold off on the war for 3 or 5 years? Those kind of things. I like those little twists, the what if. Okay, well, it doesn't look like it's crashing anyway. But we will keep saving it. Yep. Well, that's all part of the fun of alternate history. If you are interested in the Black Ice mod, I do have some basic tutorials on my YouTube page. And if you have any detailed questions about Black Ice, go ahead and ask. Yes. Hello, Washington. Well, we'll see what we can do. I'm playing with the Black Ice mod, and Black Ice uses a Hungary mod within it. Some Hungarian accordance players which at a concert earlier. So this is topical. Oh, okay. Well, I'm using the Black Ice mod here for the game. So I still have like 12 different ways I can go. Well, maybe you need to stick to a secondary country when you play a complex mod. You're no good at vanilla? Well, okay. I'll let you know a secret. I'm in my early 60s. I'm a retired military historian, and I have read stuff about World War II since I was a kid in the 1960s. And as a military historian, I've interviewed veterans from around the world. German, Polish, French, English, Dutch, one or two Italians. I've known people who came from Hungary that lived there during the war. Fairly extensive. So I started playing strategy games as a kid, and I was playing board games from Avalon Hill in the 1970s. And so Black Ice is just a progression of World War II stuff for me. So I'm not tougher, I'm just probably a little more experienced. And a few things come more naturally to me because there's so much that I understand that goes on behind the scenes, or should go on behind the scenes, because I know the history. Did you cause any wars to have things to write about? I don't quite follow your question. What did the German one say? I have two favorite interviews of German individuals. One fought on the Eastern Front. He was wounded 3 times. That's how he managed to live. And as he said, living in Canada, nobody wants to hear his story. The other World War veterans were fighting him. They don't want to hear his stories. And so when he started talking to me, he gave me an interview that was 4 hours long. And he talked in great detail about stuff. That was an incredible knowledge. And my second was a man by the name Schunther. And he came from Silesia area over here, part of the area that was given to Poland after the war. So he didn't have a country to return to. He was a prisoner of war in Canada in the last half of the war. He was a submariner, so he was a submarine man. And those are the two most interesting German veterans that I thoroughly enjoyed. Mr. Schunther became a good acquaintance, a good man to talk to. I really, really enjoyed him. He's the only person I've ever talked to that went to the 1938 Nuremberg rally, the big party rally in Nuremberg in 1938. So he told me about the party town in Nuremberg in 1938. That was kind of cool. But he was a farm boy from out in Silesia area. Yes, the guy who fought on the Eastern Front told me some of that. It's not something I want to get into at this time. Particularly bad treatment by the Russians. Particularly. Anybody who was a prisoner of war in Canada, a lot of them immigrated back over here because Canada treated them very, very well. Canada was quite good to the German prisoners that came over here. And Mr. Schunther became an excellent Canadian citizen. You like these conversations? yes, it takes 100 years after things happened to talk about them honestly and openly and objectively. So we're just getting to the point where we can talk about World War II. There are still a few veterans left. I watched some of the D-Day ceremonies, and Canada had, I think it was 13 World War II veterans, including 4 people who landed on the beaches on D-Day at the ceremony. So it takes time. It takes getting a hold of records. It takes the old jokes and evil talk about things to go away till you can objectively look at the actual history. An excellent Canadian citizen, or is that a privilege reserved for German U-boat? I'm a patriotic Canadian citizen. I'm the first in my family born here. My ancestors during World War II were in northern England, up in this area here. I had uncles, and I've talked to my uncles, that got off at this place called Dunkirk. I had 2 uncles on the beaches at Dunkirk who got off. Incidentally, my one uncle was with a unit, the only unit that stopped Rommel's advance during the attack, and the only unit to launch a counterattack and advance 2 miles. They were called off because none of the other units on their flanks could hold up. The only unit to try and break out of Dunkirk. They were the last unit off, the Durham Light Infantry, 50th Division. And because of that honor, the unit was given to land on D-Day. My uncles went to North Africa. I had 3 uncles in North Africa that served. One died as a prisoner of war coming back to Italy. A second was a prisoner of war, and he was in a coal mine in this area, I believe, for the last half of the war. And he talks very well of the commandant of the German, well, he talked very well, he's passed. He talked very well of the German commandant of the Stalag that he was in. And my third uncle, after El Alamein, came back to England as a training sergeant for the rest of the war. Oh, he was stupid not to crush the British at Dunkirk. One of the most disastrous moves decisions he ever made. He really thought he could make a separate peace with them, and he figured if he let their troops go, they're more likely to give him a peace treaty, rather than crush and totally defeat them. Absolutely one of the worst moves, particularly in the early war. One of the worst moves in the first year of the war. Absolutely. My uncle should have become prisoners of war or been killed there if Hitler did his job right. Honestly. But I can look at that objectively. Oh, if he would have given Donitz the amount of submarines that he actually wanted, he could have strangled them. He could have strangled England. My family that was living in northern England, my father was a coal miner. That's why he never got put in the military. is because the coal was running the country. And so he got to work in the coal mines, which caused him a lot of trauma, migraine headaches, etc. One of the reasons why they immigrated to Canada after that, because he couldn't work in the coal mines anymore, and that entire district is all coal mining. If you don't work in the coal mines, you can't get much other work. Yeah, well, I don't know what caused that crash that we had in the game, but everything seems to be working fine. Not much I can do during 1936's Hungary. Spanish Civil War. Industrial effort, fortification effort. We want industrial effort. This is just too long to wait for. I really think this is a better option for me. It might have happened 5 years later. It just wouldn't have happened on that time schedule. But if the Allies just reacted when Adolf took the Rhineland, yeah, but hindsight is 2020, and you have to look at how the people were thinking. You have to remember the world economy of the Depression. Countries are in poor shape financially still. They all have in their mind the memory of the horrors of World War I. And Germany was motivated differently. It was motivated by revenge, getting back, particularly Hitler, was motivated very differently than the rest of the world. So they reacted what seemed very, very reasonable the rest of the world. And you know what? Honestly, a lot of the politicians knew that they were too hard on Germany and therefore knew they had to give in concessions like letting them have the Rhineland back. They really did. Oh, do you know why the Munich agreement and losing the Sudetenland for Czechoslovakia worked so well? Hitler used a very interesting technique on Chamberlain. He wouldn't let Chamberlain smoke in the meeting room, and he kept the meetings going on so long. So Chamberlain was actually having a nicotine fit most of the time in the negotiations. And he just panicked and wanted out. And so he actually gave in concessions for the Sudetenland much too easy and much too quickly. And, you know, long and the short, when you look at it, it's because he was a nicotine cigarette addict and Hitler took advantage of it and manipulated him. Oh, the inflation was there. Yeah, wheelbarrows of the old currency to buy a loaf of bread. You know, that type of thing happened in Germany. Yeah. It had all the economic problems, but, you know, Hitler was able to motivate the people to put pride back into Germany because it had been trampled for, you know, 15 to 20 years, depending on your time frame. Give the Rhineland to Greece. Significant problems and make many things worse, but it would be funny. Well, my last playthrough that I did, I played Italy, and there's a way to backstab Germany. And so I declared war on Germany in like February 1942 and rushed my troops through Austria up into Vienna and Munich. And with the Russians and me here and getting a breakout into the Rhineland, we crushed Germany by the summer of 1943. It was a very interesting alternate history to play through. Mussolini gets pissed off with Hitler. So I have a sense of humor sometimes in playing the game. That's on YouTube if you want to glance through it. 7 episodes. What was Memel all about? German population that was living there. Kind of the same thing as Danzig, in a way. Loss of territory of German nationalists that were German during the entire Prussian era, but were no longer German. So one of Hitler's big things that he used was uniting all Germans together with the fatherland. Okay? And so that's what Memel was about. It was an area that had a lot of native German-speaking Prussian descendants. The negotiations I don't know a lot about. Okay, we have machine guns. We have machine guns. We can't afford to give any foreign aid out to Spain. Okay, my plan is to let Germans have Austria, but try and push and take territory from Romania and Yugoslavia, and maybe even the sliver of here, become a larger German ally. That is my premise for this run through. I don't want to go totally historic. Pretty much. The focus tree is different here in Black Ice. So what I'm looking at is I've already made the decision to be German, draw closer to Germany, okay? But I'm also using this Hungarianist ideas here to come down here, okay? And I will get this claims, and I'm thinking very, very strongly of partitioning Romania with the USSR. I really think I'm going to do that. I don't care about giving a little bit more to the USSR if I can get all of Transylvania by using the Russian help. So getting northern and southern Transylvania. When I can take it all for myself. I'm not strong enough early enough for that. What I can do is take part of it and then come back after it's weaker and take the rest of it. That's a possibility. It all depends on a few other things that happen in the game. What am I missing? Yeah. Anyway, it's one of those alternate twists. You have to kind of wait and see which way Romania is going on things. To know how to handle them the best, I think. Held a message. Oh, what did you say that you can't say? Let me have a look here. What did you say? I know what you're saying, but that's a politically incorrect statement that you can't say. Change the last word and repost that. Make it something a little bit more generic. I read it, but it makes you sound a little racist. Yeah, political correctness, and we're on a world market here. You know, anybody can watch this on YouTube, etc., etc. So, unfortunately, there has to be some policing of that kind of thing, and certain subject matter cannot be directly talked about. And it comes up in games like this all the time because of how many racist, sexist, difficult political overbearingness happened during this time period of history. I know what you said, and I'm not personally offended by it, but it's something that can't go out on the open post. I know what you meant. Oh, secondary countries starting in 1936 is sometimes so slow and boring. I'm glad people have been chit-chatting here. No, that's not the case. We estimate that we can fill our food storage to 12.4%. See, we'll have food storage. We're not starving them. Yeah, it's a stockpile like fuel. You got it. I'm going to do that. This is where we will struggle. have I seen many World War I era uniforms? A lot of Canadian ones. I have a son that does historical reenactments, and one of the personas he portrays is a World War I German infantry soldier. So he has looked up and studied the garb and made replicas and wears replicas and hangs around in trenches. He actually met his wife at a reenactment in a World War I trench. They were both dressed as German soldiers and happened to jump in the same trench and got to know each other. I have seen, worked on, and put on display and done research on a lot of Canadian uniforms from the World War I era. I've seen some pretty rare ones. A match made in heaven. Yeah, she's a history teacher. He's an engineer. But they both have a love of living history. I introduced all of my three kids to living history, doing War of 1812, Napoleonic era, reenacting, and two of them still do it. They're in the mid-30s now. And my grandson was going out and doing it for a number of years too. He's 17. He was. I don't think he's doing it now, but he was going out when he was a younger teenager and doing historical reenactments. And I did a lot of education programs on World War I education days for high school students over the years as well. So I've seen my fair share of World War I stuff. I didn't have to teach my grandson how to march. His father taught him. And his aunt did serve Canadian military. So and she's one of the ones that still does the historical reenactments. And she would be the one on the reenacting field calling cadence. Anyway. So I've seen a lot of World War I German equipment. Canadian museums acquired a lot of that stuff over the years, and the museum I worked for had an excellent collection of artifacts from World War I from the Western Front, from several armies. I only have one grandchild. So far. There might be more. I taught a lot of, we used to do something when I did the War of 1812, the Napoleonic era. We used to run something called a mini militia, and we had lots of little kids we give wooden muskets to and taught them how to march around, and how a musket, what you had to go through to load and fire a musket. I mean, they were doing it with little pieces of wood. If you could make your sewing pattern work for an infantry tunic, and if I made it any color but green, it would just be a very nice coat. Yeah. My winter jacket is a replica of a B-7 American military parka, which was the Northern Climate's the Northern Climate ground crew, aircraft ground crew parka. So the one that I wear is a replica of that. Doesn't have any military markings on it or anything, but it's designed the same way. So yeah, some of that stuff can be quite stylish. Just wear it for the right reasons, not the wrong reasons, though. The Canadians are still actively trading to come back and burn down the White House again. Okay, Google a musical group called the Arrogant Worms, and they have a song called The War of 1812. So, the War of 1812 song by the group called the Arrogant Worms, Canadian folk music. That'll sum up your statement there 100%. If you can laugh at that statement you just typed, you will laugh at the video I'm just suggesting. Okay, we got mortars. I think can't do much there. I think we need to go to here. Ah, crap. Huh. Why am I down? Because Belgium's only giving me 4. Screw you. I'll take it from the Netherlands. Ay, 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 ay. Why won't that go away? I don't need to put that in there. Oh, it's on the setting where it stays up till the end of the day. Okay. Anti-Comintern Pact. Oh my goodness, that's early. That is really early for this. Oh, and I gotta be a German supporter. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh. I have to refuse it at this time. I just can't. I can't do it this early. Trotsky expelled. Who wants him? Not us. Well, there goes 1936. Won't get that year back in this game. This is always a tough choice. You didn't need it anyway. Now, it was called the Presidential Palace way back then. You just couldn't afford the repairs, so you whitewashed over the burnt parts. And that's why it was called the White House. That's a true fact. Oh, Lord love a duck. Obviously, you're an American. With those comments and a name called Washington, 1808, you're definitely American. Oh, no, there's a huge amount. Huge choices, particularly the German and Allied aircraft that are available. There's tons. Tons. This is the secondary generic type of tree, right? Light bombers, naval bombers, medium bombers, strategic bombers, right? Close air support, two types, twin engine, single engine, multi-role fighters, interceptors, fighters, and heavy fighters. So this is more of the generic. Hungary never really developed that much. Most of the other major countries are a lot more complex. The Japanese one is twofold, divided into Army and Navy. There's two entirely different sections to it. It's very divided, and Germany has all the different variants that you can build rather than the ones that were popular as well. Um, yeah, yeah, that's a good question actually. That's a good. 66 days is 2 months. So March, late middle March. Probably want to hold off a little bit of time. That might be just a little too soon. That'll make it mid to late May if I do this. Let's get it in. Yeah. Damn them all to hell. Yeah, now Czechoslovakia is going to put people on my front. Now they're in an alliance, the three of them together. So, if I do this well, I might be able to get more than just Transylvania out of it. It's not going to be easy. I could screw it up big time. I could. And that's why I want the Russians involved. I'd like to see them have some fighting and some losses. We'll see. We'll see. train our sloppy little Air Force. Dear Russia, let's do this. I didn't sign that anti-Comintern pact. I don't have anything against you today. Okay, that gave me a steel factory. Well, that gave me a steel factory. It did give me a steel factory. Uncle Adolf, I need some more iron. So I don't have to buy the iron from you. Nine. Okay. Yes, we're fine with communists as long as they're dying for our cause. That's a true statement for the way I'm playing this game. So Yugoslavia did not join that alliance. Nice. Oh no! They declined. Crap. Oh, that throws a monkey wrench. Yeah. That's fine. We still have an angle to play. We just have to wait till 1938. So little I can do. Okay, all of my videos show up on my YouTube channel, so you can breeze through them quickly after the fact, usually 6 to 12 hours after I broadcast them. Yeah, well, I don't have to go to work tomorrow. Thanks for watching, Washington. We'll see you again another time. Oh, Soviets didn't go for it. That's sad. They're trained to the maximum level that they can get to. Without combat experience, they can only reach level 8. Trained crew level 3. That's as far as they will go. I can leave them on training forever, and they won't get any higher. I'm using the Black Ice mod here. If you're not familiar with it, please feel free to ask any questions. I do have some tutorials and some special looks at some of the focus trees used in Black Ice, which is different than the vanilla version of the game. So if you're familiar with Black Ice, I'd love to hear your comments. If you're not familiar with it, please feel free to ask questions. And my YouTube page has those tutorials if you are interested. Okay, so I have more horse transport than I need. Okay, first time, no problem. Black Ice adds a lot of, most people use the word complexity. Therefore, there's a more complex but narrower choices for most nations. Hungary is one of the odd ones in the game where you actually have like 12 different directions you can go. Normally, there's not all of the alternate history directions most nations can go. As you can see from the equipment, it's a little more extensive. You can design your tanks and ships more uniquely. Therefore, the research and the production is different, more complex. Oh, but you played it for 3. Okay, so you understand some of the basic concepts then. Cool. Yeah, the team has been working on progressively making this mod better and better and better for years, since Hearts of Iron 3. I didn't play Black Ice on Hearts of Iron 3. I didn't know it existed, actually, at that time. But I played Hearts of Iron 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've been a gamer my entire life. I'm a retired military historian. I really, really like the Black Ice mod because of the amount of tweaking you can do to your divisions, your units, your production. Yeah. Yeah. So what mods do you like for Hearts of Iron 4? The alternate history ones, okay, or overhaul. Road to 56. That type of mod. I tried out the industrial one that's in here before they put it into Black Ice, and I liked it. So I'm glad to see they adopted it and put it in. I like alternate history, but I don't like massive alternate history. I want some semblance of basing it on things in history, mostly because I'm a historian, so I want something to understand and base my game around. I tried the World War I mod for it a couple of times. I never played a full campaign, but that's something that I could get into. Of course they refuse. You can't fight that. Can't fight that yet. Gotta wait. There's just too much. I can't take on 4 nations. It's too much too soon. There, time will come. The Hindenburg disaster. Oh, the humanity! Typed very well. Oh, the humanity! Yeah, that's a problem. This is not working out well. That's just bizarre. Not going anywhere. I am so isolated. Yeah. Yeah. This is just not progressing with anything well. Well, this is becoming a jumble and mess. I don't think I can do it. Jeez. This has proved absolutely disastrous. Well, I got it that way. Life. Life is what happens when you made other plans, you know? You're absolutely correct. At least they did give that to me. That is significant. Okay, well, mobile warfare is not for me. Superior firepower, methodical battle doctrine, mass assault operations, asymmetric warfare. I think I have to go superior firepower and build up the artillery more. Is that not a doctrine you're familiar with because of it's used in Black Ice and not vanilla? Yeah, that was my general thinking. Can't do anything against them. That's disconcerting. Okay. We have manpower now. Don't need that. paper teams. Now we have a problem. don't need to worry about that anymore, do I? Hmm. Hungary leaves the League of Nations. Bye-bye. 10 naval experience. Yeah, for Hungary. That's a lot. The Polish question. Well, there's a good place. Well, coming up 3 hours on streaming. I think I need to take a break. I think the 1st of September 1939 is probably a good place to leave this off for next time. So if you want to see more Black Ice, or if you have any country suggestions you'd like to see me try, please leave me some feedback on any of the YouTube videos that you have questions about. Please leave them. And if you just want to see more Black Ice in general, please subscribe. And that's pretty much it. If I know people subscribe to Black Ice, then I will I'll continue putting up the videos and the tutorials. So please, please, please do subscribe. And if you like this particular video, hit the like. So until next time, all you people and bots out there, be good to one another. Take care. Bye-bye.